We're not even at the end of January and already we've got another mid-size SUV. Say hello to the 2026 Skoda Kushaq facelift. I'm Gavin, this is Autocar India, and here's everything you need to know about it. Up front, especially in bright daylight, at first glance you might not think there's a whole lot that's changed, but really there has. It's a lot cleaner than before. This bit over here in the bumpers used to be a lot busier, but it's been neatened up into this vertical element and the lower light element down there. You'll notice down in the bumper there's this black on this Monte Carlo version with a slight ridged, rugged looking thing. I like this pattern. It contributes to this car looking a little tougher than it did before. The bigger change though is the grille, which now flows a little bit more organically into the headlamps. It used to be quite a firm butterfly grille, as Skoda used to call it before, but now it's following Skoda's modern solid design philosophy that's permeating across the model range. And though it doesn't look like it as much in the daytime, you'll see that this LED pattern does follow that. You see it's up here, goes down into this L shape, and it actually runs through the grille over to the other side, and that will look very distinctive lit up late at night in the dark. Now this appears to be a radar. Yep, for ADAS features. Skoda hasn't specified which ADAS feature specifically this car will get, but they have told us there are 40 of them, and this being the Monte Carlo version, you get these handy red stripes in the grille too. On the side, as you might imagine, very little has changed, and you wouldn't expect that much to change with a facelift like this. The profile is largely the same, this being the Monte Carlo, you get black over here rather than chrome. The wheel size remains 17 inches, which is a shame. I thought they'd have moved up to 18 inches as many rivals have. And you'll also notice this lovely flat grey color. I think they got this from the Octavia RS and the Superb, but it works pretty well on the Kushaq as well. Over at the rear, the big change is that the tail lamps are now connected. Yes, there's a band that runs through and these LED patterns that meet in the center in the Skoda word mark, which is also a lit up LED thing. Further down in the bumper, you see this ridge pattern that we saw up the front, and again that does well to give it a bit more of a rugged look. That's the Monte Carlo badge because this is a Monte Carlo variant, and the tail lamps themselves have gotten a little bit slimmer. There used to be an extra detail here that's no longer there, and it looks a little bit more upmarket as a result of that. Now while we're back here, one thing Skoda has said is that they try to democratize a lot of the features. That means bring them from the higher variants down into the lower variants as well, and one of those is the rear wiper along with the rear defogger, which is standard from the base model. Now let's check out the boot. It doesn't look too much larger than before, but it's now rated at 491 liters, where previously it was rated at 385 liters. That's a huge jump, and it makes me think that maybe Skoda has just changed its method of measuring. There are a couple of ways to do that. Still, it's big enough for a couple of medium to large bags, and underneath here you still get a spare tire and the subwoofer for the audio system. And if you want more space still, those fold down and split 60-40. Inside here too, there's more to it than meets the eye, because on the surface it looks quite similar to what you got before, but they have made some key updates. Here in this Monte Carlo version at least, there's this lovely brushed metal effect for the center of the dashboard with Skoda written in wordmark over on the side. It's much better than the old glossy finish you used to get before, less reflections, and it still looks very rich and very nice. This is a 10.1 inch screen as before, but the new infotainment system looks incredibly slick, much better and a greater improvement on what you used to get before. These AC controls are still touch, and that's a bit of a shame. I wish they'd have gone back to the knob system that Volkswagen is implementing across the wider group globally, but they have said that the AC has been considerably improved, and that was a complaint about the Kushaq built before, and all of the India 2.0 cars for that matter. We can't really tell now that the car is stationary in one place, but when we drive it, we'll let you know how effective that has been. Apart from that, yeah, there's still a wireless charger down here. There's still this little tray up there, but behind this steering wheel, which does look the same as before, you'll find a new 10.25 digital drivers display. Yes, it used to be an old 8-inch unit, and you still get that on mid-spec variants, but now the unit has grown in top-spec versions to 10.25 inches, and it fills up the binnacle very, very nicely. There has been a considerable features bump, and I'll get to that in a moment. But the big news is that everything is powered by Google AI assisted voice assistant for this car. Again, because it's not connected right now, I can't tell you how well that works or doesn't, but that's something we'll save for the drive. So be sure to tune back in for that. Apart from that, other feature highlights from before are powered and ventilated front seats. And the other big news is that the sunroof is now no longer a single pane unit, it's a panoramic one.
As I mentioned before, many features from higher models are filtering down below, and standard fit from the base model are the aforementioned rear wiper and defogger, alloy wheels, auto climate control, rain sensing wipers, LED headlamps and tail lamps, auto dimming rearview mirror, and a sunroof. Yes, the panoramic sunroof is on the top spec trims, but the small sunroof is available even on the base model. On the safety front, 6 airbags are standard, it retains its 5-star global NCAP rating, and while I said there were 40 ADAS features earlier, that wasn't strictly accurate. There are 40 active and passive safety features, as Skoda says, but full ADAS is yet to come. While the feature additions are welcome, some items like a 360-degree camera and electronic parking brake are still not available.
Perhaps the biggest sort of trump card that Skoda has thrown at this car, though, is to be found back here of all places. This little button here activates massaging rear seats. Wasn't expecting that, but yep, this is a feature that's a first for this segment and won't be seen for many segments above. But yeah, you can have a little bit of a massage in the back seat of this car. Now, the Kushaq isn't perhaps the first choice you go to for the rear seat in the midsize SUV segment, but maybe with this feature, that's something you'll want to do now. For what it's worth, this actually feels quite nice. It's not particularly intensive. There seems to be only one setting, and actually, there's no way to tell if it's on or not other than the feeling in your back because there's no light on that switch. It seems to be just integrated there. But it also doesn't massage the lower half, it's only the backrest. But I mean, it's something and it's unique. I wish they found a way to maybe also add ventilated seats back here, but I guess that would be overkill. It's a lot, it would drive the cost up. But hey, they now have a bragging rights calling card that they can say is uniquely theirs, and it's something special in this segment. Now, the engine options remain largely the same. You get the 1 liter 115 horsepower TSI and the 1.5 150 horsepower TSI. The 1.5 TSI is mated to only a DSG this time, there's no manual. And the 1 liter TSI, now this is a big change, comes with a manual or an 8-speed torque converter automatic. Yeah, it's moved up from the 6-speed to the 8-speed. That's quite an interesting change. And of course, as you can see by this car, the Monte Carlo version will be available right from launch this time around. Now, prices have not been announced today, but bookings are open on Skoda India's website for a price of 15,000 rupees. You can book it right away. Prices might come in about a month or so, so stay tuned. If this is the car you're interested in, keep it locked on autocarindia.com and our YouTube channel to see more about the Kushaq facelift.